Hey, girl. Hey,
What's going on?
girl. Just another day living the dream, or at least trying to build it.
I feel like I haven't talked to you in
Because
forever.
we haven't. I think you've been
Uh,
doing other things
yeah,
regarding.
I'm so used to
Um,
talking to you like two to
and
three
I'm
hours
feeling
a day.
away. I'm feeling away about it, but I was gonna give it a little time, and then I was just gonna pull up on you, like you don't love me
Yeah,
enough. Like you can't
I
forget the you can't forget the
yeah,
people.
I'm in the office this week training, but
I
it's been
know.
cool. You know,
Okay.
I'm gonna open up Facebook because last week there was people conversating in the
And I
room.
hope you talk back.
I love you. Um, Last week there were people conversating, they were talking to us and stuff, and I didn't realize it, which really sucked. So it should be on there on my Facebook page because on here I streamed it live. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll leave this open. Leave this open. So if anybody comments on it or whatever, I'll be able to see it. Oh my goodness. So how's your week
Okay.
going so far?
You know what? It's doing what it's doing in its typical fashion. It's being a week, but that's okay. I got it. I got it. So
I
training's
feel
been
it.
going okay for you?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yep. It
I would say the best thing about
makes
training
me nervous
is that
because I feel like I'm holding somebody's livelihood in my hand. So I want to make sure that I do the best job I can so that, I make them successful. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I take it seriously. Just like how I am about my job. I take my job super serious. So but they've been, man, they're both super cool people. Um Super excited to keep working with them and all that good stuff. So nothing but love, you know what I mean? So it's honestly making me more excited about going into the office
Okay.
when I have to go back. It's making me excited to go back because we're able to bounce stuff off each other. And there's new people that learn something on the system that were able to say to me, "Hey, did you know we can do this?" And I was like, "No." And I've been here for almost 18 years. No, but
Wow.
I don't think I realized how much I missed the back and forth knowledge, camaraderie. Like I missed it. I really did.
Mhm.
So it's nice to get that back and forth again. So I am looking forward to going back in the office.
Well, that and you get to show people how the job need to be done versus who trained you, who taught you how to do that. You know what I'm saying? So
That
that
was
that
my
is
thing.
plus.
Like that's why I volunteered. Like, look, if you know, we're gonna be working here, let me show you the right way. Not that anybody would have showed them the wrong way,
Hmm.
but I'm just saying,
Right. No, I
and I want the place where I work to be successful, so I want to train successful people. You know, um,
cool.
I had an amazing weekend,
Okay.
and um, I'm having a good week
How was your
so
Mother's
far.
Day?
It was cool. I'm not a big holiday celebrator. Um,
No?
no, no. Um, I celebrate them, don't get me wrong. I just don't make big deals about them.
Okay.
Now my kids, that's different. They always look out for me, Brody's buying new books, so I'm so excited. So, it's hard to with that. So, but but it was cool though. I just chilled. I enjoyed my whole weekend. I didn't do nothing. I'd already had like laundry and stuff done, so it was dope. How was yours?
Mine was perfect.
Nice.
As you know, I got that I passed my certification test Friday, and
Yep.
then Saturday I just kind of chilled out because I had to kind of let that settle. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to just like
Yeah.
let it settle.
Yeah, because
Like
you got that done quick, dude. 1 minute you're like, hey, I'm gonna do this thing, and like 2 days later, and I'm like, dude, what the shit?
and
That
now
is
I have
crazy.
letters behind my name. So
I know. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of you, dude. That was so awesome.
I had to like let that sit for a little bit. So I was just kind of like suspended in air Saturday. And then Sunday, I didn't want to be out. I wanted to be at home
Yep.
with my daughter. I'm like, it's Mother's
Yep.
Day. I wanted to be at home with my daughter. So I
Yep.
cooked for us. We ate steak and lobster tail and
Oh, nice.
asparagus and mashed potatoes. Like I was in my, that was what I wanted to do. I went and bought myself some flowers and I put together
Oh,
just the most beautifulest
nice.
floral arrangement. Hold on. So I don't know if you can you see this? Let me
Oh,
see.
that's so pretty.
So I
That's
picked all four of them like individually and brought them home and made
okay.
the arrangement. So
Just
I love
rearrange them the way
flowers.
you want.
Yeah. And I have so many that I have some in my bedroom
I
too.
love fresh flowers, dude.
Do
And
you?
Walmart and Giant Eagle have the cutest little bundles of flour. It's been a minute since I bought them, so I don't know if they're still as cheap as they were before. But when I used to order my groceries, well, I still order them online, but I used to get a bundle every time I had my groceries delivered. And Walmart
Would
was only
you?
like $7 for a huge bundle for whatever holiday it was at the time. So it was
Okay.
awesome. It was cool.
It's about $10 now, but it's still affordable
That's
considering
that's not
how
bad. Yeah.
flowers cost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
So
their flowers last a really long time.
yeah.
Like anytime I get flowers from Giant Eagle or from Walmart, do they last for a good 2 weeks? As long because my mom taught me, I don't know if this makes a difference, right? But she taught me this and I do it and it works. She taught me to cut my flowers at an angle, like the
Hmm.
stems, to not
Hmm.
cut them straight, but to cut them at an angle. And then I
Hmm.
always use that little powdery stuff that comes
Yeah.
with it and it lasts forever. And
I
I
heard
don't care if they're roses or carnations. I like the little white puffy ones that they do with the glitter on them. If it's
uh,
that like a holidays coming up, I think those are so cute.
I like I live next to a Walmart, but there's also a Heinen's and a Whole
Okay.
Foods. They have
Okay.
a beautiful assortment of flowers, different prices. Like I said, the bundle was three for 20. You know what I mean? So
Oh, nice.
um,
That's not bad.
yeah, yeah. And like I said, I have two of those vases, one in the kitchen and one in the living rooms in my bedroom. So
Okay.
it's worth it. And I
That's
think,
dope.
and this kind of is a nice segue into what we're talking about tonight because I love flowers. I love fresh flowers. I love the colors. I love how beautiful but yet delicate they are. But I also love them because sometimes I need a reminder to remain soft. I need a
Yes.
reminder that you can calm down and you can slow down and you can be soft today and you can be delicate today. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, especially if you're a single parent or if you're just trying to maintain life, you know, we as women we step off into our masculine energy so much, you know what I'm saying, that sometimes we forget, no, I'm a woman. I'm a feminine woman. I'm a soft woman. I'm an elegant woman. And I need to figure out, I need something to help me come back to my feminine self. You know what I'm saying? To my soft
Yeah.
self.
Yeah. 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 No, I agree. And sorry, um, life. I totally agree. I totally agree. And I think um, we all show, or I feel like we all, especially as women, choose different ways to
Yes,
show our softness, femininity. I know in the situation that we're going to be talking about, the softness and the femininity is not the same, but
correct.
still, there's certain
Yeah.
things that even, I have a deep voice, or not a deep, but a deeper voice, and so sometimes it comes across a little, you know what I mean, and so there's certain things that I've always been kind of a tomboy. I played sports up until a certain age. You know what I mean? It just was what it was. And so there's certain things that I will do because there's certain things that make me feel soft or make me feel feminine, like my
Mm,
nails. I hate it when my nails aren't done. Having my nails done just makes me feel feminine. I don't wear makeup. That is not a thing for me, but my nails is like how some girls feel about wearing makeup.
yeah,
It's not about what other people see in us when they see the makeup or the nails. It makes us
that's right.
feel
That's right.
internally good. You know what I mean?
That's
And
right.
I love that for us as
Hmm.
women, that there's certain things we can do, like my purse collection. Girl, you can't tell me nothing about my purse. There's just certain things that I love being soft about.
Okay. If I'm and I do agree with that, and I also think that it's different for women for different women. Every woman has their thing that makes them say, you know what, I'm gonna soften up and relax here today. Some women, it's not flowers. Like the first time I heard a woman say she didn't like flowers, I thought something was wrong with her. I thought, you need to go get evaluated or something because flowers are so
Like,
feminine.
did
But then I
somebody ever buy
matured,
you flowers? Have you never had them before?
and it's so many different reasons. But I'm gonna be honest with you and say I matured enough to say, well, you don't have to like flowers to be feminine. And like you said, what is it that
Absolutely.
brings you back to your femininity? You know what I'm saying? What is
Hmm.
it that puts you in a soft place that allows you to, be mindful of your tone, that allows you to come with light energy, that allows you to be nourishing. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
What are those markers that do that for you? And it may not be flowers. It ain't flowers for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Sometimes
that's true. That's true.
you know what I
You
mean?
can bring me a bag of gummy bears, and I'm just as happy with that as if you bought me flowers.
Or so, in that case, it's like, okay, if you bring me a treat or if you bring me a token of love, if you bring me something that shows, you're being affectionate with me, that'll soften
Mhm.
me up quick. You know
Me
what I'm
too.
saying? Knowing
And
that,
it
oh,
don't,
I'm
and for
go
me,
through this.
just me personally, I don't need this big grand gesture.
Right.
Not saying
Yeah.
that that's wrong. I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm just saying for me personally, I don't need a big gesture. I prefer a whole bunch of little things.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember when we were growing up, my mom would say to us, as not as kids, but as we got older, she would we understood that there was going to be a budget because there were so many of us. And
Hmm.
my mom would say, you make Santa or yourself a list, but kind of point out to her what was the most that you wanted, right? What was the most important thing that you wanted in case that was expensive?
Hmm.
So everything I wanted was always cheap back. I'm 48. I was born in 77. So this is, Barbies were, maybe $10 a piece. So
Right.
I always asked for small, cheaper things because then I would get a lot of stuff versus
Hmm.
asking for more expensive stuff. And
Hmm.
I always got little stuff. Amber just said same thing in chat. She said that she loves the little things, give her favorite candy or snacks. It's
Okay.
it's 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 just little tiny gestures that shows that you were somewhere. I popped into your head, whether it's as a friend, it can be I have friends who my Joni one time, this was years ago. I was going through it. I was going through it. And Joni sent me this huge basket. And we had honestly just met when she did that. And I had never thought about doing something like that. And ever since then, there's been a couple times where I've sent one of my friends like an Amazon box if they were having a bad day or something. And I know I have other friends that have done that for their friends. And it just shows that you were thinking about me, and it you get all happy, and it's cool.
Or you can buy them their favorite lotion from Bath and Body Works.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, yeah, so I think we all need those reminders like, hey girl, come back. You know what I'm saying? Relax. I know the world is on your shoulders right now. I know you're carrying a lot. I know you're responsible for a lot. I know it's hard, you know, um, but don't forget that you
Right.
still are awesome and that you're still woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You still woman. You still woman.
Absolutely.
And I'm adamant about that because, I know what it's like to feel like, life can make you feel like you just nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And then going through depression and stuff like that where, it's just hard to do the basics. You need a reminder. And
Yes.
and you guys are right. It does it's impossible for it to always be the big things, right?
Right.
Because it's always sometimes the little things that make a difference in either direction, good or bad. So
Right.
I'm, I'm all for whatever it takes for you to get back to your feminine
Yep.
self. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
And I will say this, I was very lucky, and I told you before, when I got out of a 10-year relationship, I had no self-esteem. None. And it was not because my partner made me insecure. There were certain things that could have been better, but there was never disrespect intended. So I don't want anyone to feel like I said that and my ex was a tyrant, because absolutely not. It
Right.
wasn't like that at all. But I had no self esteem, and if it wasn't for Corey Lee, I probably would have never come out of the funk that I did. She was the one that was like, "Wait a minute, you are, you know, stop thinking that your worth is this specific thing, and know that your worth is who you are as a person." And as a plus size woman, to have a best friend that was that is a very, very dainty woman, to learn that dainty or skinny or thick or medium, every size woman has the same insecurity as the other. Like
That is the truth.
I
Oh,
did not
that. Oh
know
my
that it
God, that's the
affected.
truth.
Yeah, I did not know that when you say to a smaller woman, when you say to her, "Oh my gosh, you're so skinny," she was like, "Girl, that would be like if I said to you, 'Oh my God, you're so fat.'" And I said, "Are you serious? You guys take it that way? We mean it as a compliment." And she was like, "Yeah, but it's not." And I'm like, "I'm so glad you told me that." And I've never said that to another female because I didn't know that. And it was like, I'm glad she told me that, because I I know when I was skinnier or smaller or whatever, you couldn't tell me shit. So I didn't know, so, but I love that she told me that. And so having such a strong friend in my corner, I would have never. And then all my friends, like my friend Jasmine, is constantly telling me about myself. Like, "Girl, you got this, and this, and you got this." And like Brittany's always telling me, giving me all this positive energy. And when you've got just in God, how many conversations do me and you have? It's ridiculous. So it's just all that femininity and energy and positiveness. I feel like I look like I'm super happy, because I've had so much dope femaleness around me lately that it's awesome. It's a really good
And I
feeling.
think too, the one thing that we overlook sometimes is that we don't have to be masculine to be effective. We can stay in
Correct.
our feminine and be just as effective and just as powerful. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And
Yes.
when life happens, because life happens, right?
Mhm.
When life happens, that's whispering the contrary. It's like, you know what? It don't matter. I'm gonna tell you one of the most freeing, but yet hardest things I had to learn to do. You ever heard the saying, "Hey, don't look like what you're going through"? Like some people say, "I don't look like what I've been through," but there's also the saying, "Don't look like what you're going through," meaning don't wear it, right?
Yeah,
And I've heard so many women say, you know, I cried myself to sleep last night, but I got up on time and got in my clothes, put on some
yeah,
perfume, put on some makeup,
yeah.
and and cried my way all the way to where I was going.
Girl,
But
sometimes you gotta pull over on the highway and have a cry and then get back on and keep it moving.
you know what I'm but not just say, okay, you know what? I'm not feeling it, so I'm just not gonna do nothing. Like the times like that I've had to just say, I don't feel like doing this. I need to just stay in the bed. But
Yeah.
like to have to talk myself into the shower,
Mhm.
talk myself into some makeup,
Yep.
talk myself into some perfume, talk
Mhm.
myself into some clean clothes that actually
And
match.
that I feel like that is like that's a true like everything we have just talked about is true signs of survival mode.
Abs- right.
It's,
Yeah.
I definitely could tell the difference from when I was in survival mode versus actually being able to stand on my own 2 feet. When you go from two incomes to one, from an unexpected breakup, it's not easy, especially in this economy. And the survival mode of finances, my mental health, man, I was because I went through it there for a second and I was super depressed, as anybody is when you go through a breakup, regardless of the
Absolutely.
situation, right? Whatever. And so I went through all the motions of survival mode. And then at the end of summer, after I was a hobbit for months, standing my friends up, which is not something I normally do. Like my friends, the fact that my friends even still talk to me is crazy because I stood them up all summer. And I couldn't help it. I had no desire to be around anybody because I didn't want my funkiness to rub off on anybody. I didn't want to ruin anyone's fun. You know what I mean? I love my friends. So I like when my friends are happy and I don't ever want to be not that they ever made me feel that way because that's ridiculous. They'd have had me there crying and all. You know what I mean? But when I entered my soft mode, because I was now healed from my breakup, my finances leveled out again, everything started going back to normal. And then, right when it started going back to normal, I met it in my man's. And the healthy way that we entered our relationship, I have been able to continue to live soft mode versus survival mode.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
On several different levels. Because I chose to let myself heal versus rushing out and then rushing into a new relationship.
Mhm.
For the first time in my life, I healed. After every relationship I've ever been in, I've jumped in one right afterwards. And I've never been able to heal from any relationship I've ever been in. So that whole summer was like, okay, I'm healing from every relationship I've ever had. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I had to let go of all my baggage, all that shit. And like, okay, I gotta start over. It's gotta be right this time. Or I'm not doing it.
And it's amazing how a lot of people, we kind of almost kind of curse a breakup or the end of a thing, especially when we're grieving, when somebody's the end of a relationship or when he has died or the end of
Yeah.
something. But the reality of it is that it always births something brand new for us. It
Right.
always does because it forces us to look at things as they were standing and say, okay, this can't stand here anymore. I have no choice now but to do something different. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Yes.
um I know like last year when all of my family members passed away, my mom, my aunt, my cousin, within a 30-day period of each other, you know, I'm like, oh my God. So
I remember that. That was
everybody
crazy.
that it was, and everybody that had a hand in my upbringing is no longer here. And I now I'm here with my child and I'm a single parent. And it's like,
Your whole
so
supportive
what am I
system
gonna
just
what
disappeared
just I mean, just like that. You know what I'm
overnight.
saying?
On.
So now you got the fear of that, the fear of what am I gonna do? Then I said, okay, but they were strong. They raised me right. I got the skills. So it's like, okay, I got the skills, but what is this that I'm feeling? Do you know I had to literally go back and revisit all the things that were true and not true regarding my upbringing and forgive them and say, okay,
Uh,
this is how I'm going to make it now. You
hmm
understand what I'm saying?
I
Like
do
to
understand what you're saying, 100%. You know, I feel like we as humans start to prepare ourselves for our family members passing away as we get older. But the one thing that we don't talk about is what you just said. It's the A lot of us don't think about the healing that we're going to have to do after our parents are gone because there's going to be unresolved stuff. And
yes,
I try, like with my mom and dad, I got a lot of my unresolved stuff out years ago, but there was still stuff that I let go because to a certain point, I'm like, dude, my parents are this age. They're amazing grandparents. They're amazing people at this age. You know what I mean? So does something from 40 years ago matter? No, no, it didn't. At least not to me. So it was like some stuff I didn't get resolved, but when they passed away, I didn't think it was going to affect me that way, but it absolutely did. You're absolutely correct. And I feel like that's something we don't talk about with loss is how do you deal with right after they pass away and you have to and that messes with you and it puts you in survival mode
it
because like
does.
you said your whole network is now gone. But I do remember you saying that your friends that you had at the time were just amazing and
Yeah.
like showed up for you like no other. I do remember
Yeah,
you saying
they
that.
did that. That was a godsend, and I'm gonna tell you like again, and we always do this because in a minute it's gonna be no secret that we're Christians, but God cares and God knows how to come and pick you up and hold your hand and walk you through stuff, even when you don't
Absolutely.
think that He's doing that.
Absolutely.
Even and sometimes you have to look back because hindsight is 2020. You have to look back and see the footprints.
Yes.
You don't
Yes.
see them.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
it's like, and you can tell when people haven't fully grieved because you have people that either, oh, my parents were just angels, they were the best people in the world, and everybody's looking around like, yo, they used to lock you in the
No, they
closet, what are
were
you talking about?
not
Like,
people our generation. No, we're not. If your mom and dad wasn't beating you with something, you're a damn lie, or you was raised by maids or butlers, or you had money and you just wasn't in the house or being an ass because get out of here, bro.
yeah, yeah,
Lower
and
middle class people, we was getting our asses beat by our moms and dad. Or well, no, not my dad. My dad never touched me, but my
mhm.
dad was supposed to. This is off topic, but my dad was supposed to spank me one time. I think I was like in third grade. Okay, and I'm a daddy's girl. If you know me, you know I'm a daddy's girl through and through. And my dad took me in his room and because I was crying and he's like, we're just gonna say I spanked you, but I'm not gonna do it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I remember walking out, be like, oh, you spank me, and no,
I mean, it it's like you have to look at the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
And then, you have to be like, okay, now that I'm over the anger part, you got to look at them from a human and say they did the best they could. They did the best they knew how. They
mm-hmm.
responded like a human. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
absolutely, Hmm.
They responded like a human being. And now that I'm a single parent, I look back at my mom and I'm like, I don't know how she did it. If I could go back to being her little girl again, I would behave so differently.
Oh my
I would
goodness. Well, you
behave.
know what? I can't even say that because I was a good kid. I didn't get in any trouble.
I wasn't a tyrant. I was not a tyrant, but I um there were some times where it's like, okay, Crystal, you just sit down and be quiet. She tired and you need
See,
and
my mom,
you need to be
we
quiet
didn't
here.
have to guess if my mom was tired. If you irritated my mother, you knew right away. You just didn't do that. And honestly, there were six of us, and the older ones were always getting in trouble. So I minded my business and I played with my Barbies and my toys and colored and listened to records. And, you know, I would escape in my own little imagination. So I didn't care what
I would have
got.
definitely kept my curfew because I just would always break curfew. So I would have definitely kept my curfew. I would have
No, no way.
definitely kept my curfew. I
Hell
would
no.
have
Oh my
definitely would have
goodness. You're giving me anxiety talking about missing your curfew.
oh my God. I
My
got,
mom
listen, I
died.
remember one time I came home late and I tried to get in the door. She came to the door and she said, "You're late. So you need to go right back to wherever you came from." And I had to call my friend, had to call somebody to
My
come and
mom
get
would
me
snatch my
because who
ass
I
up.
was with, I couldn't go back to their house. I literally had to call somebody to come get me because she
Yeah, my
said,
mom would have snatched me up in a heartbeat, dude. But
not,
I
not,
I had a specific friend in high school, and my mom was strict, but her dad wasn't. So we would just hang out at her house. We was never doing anything wrong, but her dad was always with his girl. So we would just hang out at her house, listen to records or whatever. But my mom would drive by her house every night at curfew. Well, then it got to the point where we turned 16 and my friend's older sister got a car. So she got her sister's car. So we always knew when my mom was going to drive by. And we would wait, you know, like maybe another half hour just to make sure she wasn't creeping. And then we'd get in that car and be out. Um, oh my gosh, dude. That's a whole freaking lifetime movie. We had so I had so these I feel bad for the next generation of kids coming up like 25 and under because they have no idea what they're missing, dude.
no.
The
The
90s,
times that I
the
used to
late
sneak over to
90s
my
were the
friend's
best
house,
club days ever.
the times that I used to sneak through the neighborhood and be at everybody's house, you're not doing that now because yeah,
No.
they're missing out.
Yeah,
But
I'm good
I'm
now.
saying I would have definitely I would have definitely did some things different. Like if I could go back, I'm like, oh, I didn't have to worry that lady the way that I did.
Do
But
you do you think in your in your situation now, like because I already said what I felt like I was doing or whatever, but do you feel like you're in a situation where you're in survival mode versus soft mode now? Or how, you know what I mean?
I'm coming out of survival mode.
Nice. Nice.
I'm
There you
definitely
go.
coming out of survival mode because there were things that and I had to get an understanding of like what's going on with me here. Like I don't have a tolerance. I'm like, why am I so why do I not have a desire for certain things? And the
Yeah.
problem is the way that our brains are wired to naturally protect us. Naturally. You know, you got fight or flight mode, that's a
Yeah.
response. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Fear is a response to protection. It is. It can get out of hand,
Absolutely.
but fear is a response, is a protection response.
For
And
sure.
what happens is when you've experienced some form of trauma, your mind says, okay, I got to protect her. I have to protect her. So we're going to preserve as much energy as we can. So no, she's not going to get up every morning and comb her hair and curl it and do a updo because we need
Right.
that energy for something else because we don't know when we're going to have to fight or flight today. So we need to
Right. Right.
preserve. energy. So no, she's not going to do a face full of makeup today. No, she's not going to reach in the back of the closet and find something bright and colorful to iron it and put it on. She's going for the black because you don't have to think to put black on. No, we don't have that energy because we need that energy just in case we might have
Yeah.
to fight or flight today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I never
saying?
looked at it that way. Yeah. I never looked at it like
Yeah.
that though. That's
You
an
ever notice
interesting
why
way
you
to
don't have
put it.
the energy after, for example, after a traumatic, a breakup, a relationship loss, or whatever? Like you said, you didn't have the energy to go kiki with your friends.
I
You
didn't.
you physically didn't have the energy, and emotionally you didn't have the energy because
No.
your brain was saying, "Hey, we're hurt. We need all the energy we need just in case we gotta quickly go left or
Yeah.
right."
Yeah.
So, that's why when you see a woman, you be like, well, why won't she get herself together? Why won't she comb her hair? Because she can't. Well,
Yeah.
why is she always, I remember I worked a job, Shauna, it was a part-time job at that. Left my full-time job. I had about a 30-minute downtime before I had to start the next job. Luckily, it was right down the street from the other one. And I wore black 4 days out of 5. So much so that my coworker that I became cool with, one day she looked at me and she said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "I'm all right today." She says, "Okay, good." She said, "But you sure is casket sharp." I said, "Casket sharp? What are you talking about?" She said, "Because you always wearing black. You always wearing black." And I'm like,
Because black
"Oh,
is a safe color.
black hides you. You can
Yeah.
hide behind black." You
It
understand what
does.
I'm
That's
saying?
why I feel like so many plus size women wear black.
Yep.
Not saying that's why you wore it. I'm saying
No,
I literally have 15 of the same black V-neck shirts.
no, you're right. So you can hide
Just
hide
saying.
behind black. One, you hide behind black. Two, um, the color you wear determines like what mood you're in. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're not in spring. You listen, it ain't springtime up here for me. It's not
Right.
springtime. So I'm not about to be in here just bubbly and all
You
of that
know,
because
black for me too is a comfort color or a comfort thing for me too. Like if I'm having an anxious day and
yeah,
I'm just not, if one curl is out of place, I'm changing my whole outfit. And
it's the
for
path
me,
of least
just the black
resistance.
t-shirts have always been like a
It's the
binky.
it's the path it's the path of least resistance because you don't
Yeah.
have the energy to do anything else.
Yeah.
People that I can watch women who dress to the night, like I'm like, girl, did you just jump out of a magazine? That outfit is together. Like I'm like, I don't even have the patience to go to the store to even look for anything. You
Facts.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even have it. I don't have it to go in there and say, give me a, I don't know, give me a multicolored skirt with a, I don't know. I don't have time. I don't have the
Yeah.
energy. I don't have the, you know what I mean? And so I'm saying all that to say I would, and survival mode also looks like waiting to the very last minute to do stuff. Like you
Yeah.
wait until you just cannot wait no longer. Like for the longest time, I would like just not leave the house until like I had my traffic pattern down to the minute, and then had the nerve to have an attitude and a nervous breakdown if there was traffic on a particular day. Well, if you would have gave yourself
Yeah.
margin, you wouldn't be sitting here sobbing like a baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think we've
when
all I think we've all done that. Like probably every human being that drives has done that.
Yeah, and so always, but here's that soft thing. Soft women are not always in a hurry. Soft women don't move fast. Soft women don't speed around. You know what I'm saying? Soft women
Right.
they don't show up. They don't walk in the door
Rest without
huffing.
guilt.
You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah, we
come in
rest
like,
without
hi,
guilt. We're comfortable resting. We
you
are
know,
comfortable staying home on a Friday night.
but in addition to that, well, why is it that I would rather stay home all the time. Every time I go somewhere, I got to come in here huffing and puffing. Every time I got to come somewhere, I got to be the last person in the door. Like, and so all I'm
Right.
going to say is just find balance of that. Now, there are times where it's like, girl, I'm here because I love you, not because I want to be, right? I get that. Like, we all
Yeah, for
have,
sure.
we all have those. And that's not related to nothing other than I just had a long day. You know what I'm saying? But when
Yep.
it's chronic, when it's chronic, like, you don't ever turn your iron on. You don't
Right.
you don't even if you don't wear your good clothes every day, you don't even have good clothes to where you can wear once a month. All of the,
Right.
I went through that with when I got pregnant, obviously, it was jeggings all day. And then, my baby's a pandemic baby. Well, I had her at 18, the pandemic was in 20. So
Okay.
now we got the pandemic, everybody at home. Now I'm in sweats all day. I'm in jeggings all day. I'm in a hoodie
Yeah,
all day. You know
yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Because what? I don't
I
need to
gave
be putting
all my
clothes on.
dress clothes away because after
Yeah,
2 years of staying home, I'm like, this shit ain't even in style no more. Like, what is
right. You know what I'm saying?
the
So
point of
now
keeping it all?
I'm in all of these. I'm wearing these jeggings all the time. I'm wearing this t-shirt. I'm in this hoodie. I don't have on no good clothes because now everybody's doing everything virtual. They done shut down certain places, so you have there no more appointments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then when you going in, ain't no need of putting on your good clothes because you don't have to have a mask on. Like, so what's the point? And that
Yeah.
went on for years. In addition to, I was already in that mode when I was pregnant, and one day I just looked in my closet. No, I was doing laundry that I had let go for about a week, and I had put all my clothes on this table, and I'm folding my clothes, and it was like it was almost like I had an out of body experience. It was like I was looking, and I said, "Is this all I got? Like,
Oh,
like,
okay.
is this all I got?" My jeggings at this point were just looked washed. So they was black and now they look gray. They look off black and gray and fuzzy. You know what I'm saying? All of my clothes just looked washed. And I'm
You
just
was
like,
I mean, you was in survival mode.
but like,
You
so
know,
when you gonna get your life back? Because this looks like there's so, you know what I mean? And
and
it's
I think some people think too, like there doesn't have to be again, it doesn't have to be this huge grand gesture of
correct.
I'm gonna go like me, I started small, like right around that time Sheen came out. And I remember being on TikTok and I
Girl,
hadn't
I don't
ordered
have
from there
a
yet.
full card.
Yeah, I hadn't ordered from there yet. And I was on TikTok and I seen this woman who was a bigger woman and she was reviewing their clothes. And after I saw that they fit her and everything was cool, I was like, all right, let me go into the app and check stuff. And I started certain things I refuse to buy from there because their quality is just doo doo. But every now and then I'll find like a shirt or something that's actually really cute. The reviews are cute. You just have to be careful. But that's how I started. It was something small. And then it was okay, now that I'm slowly building up my wardrobe, I went back to started getting my nails done. And then it was like,
Yeah.
okay, now I got to start going tanning again because these
Yes.
are things that
One
make
thing.
me happy. Right?
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone else. This is Shauna's
That's,
thing. And then it
that's
was like, okay, I've got to go back to doing my red hair. Now when you got red hair, fake red hair, you have to do it like once every 3 to 4 weeks. It's ridiculous because I do box hair, obviously, and red it bleeds really bad. So it was like, okay, now I got to go back and I got to start doing it every 3 weeks versus every, I don't know, month or month and a half or whatever. I'm pretty funny about my hair. I usually stick to my hair pretty well, but it just or going to get it cut more. By the way, the girl that cuts my hair is in our live chat in Facebook. Her name's Amber, and she does my
Hey, Amber girl.
um,
Hey.
or she does my hair, but she does my boys' hair too. So there was definitely ways to start bringing yourself up, and some people don't have the finances to you know be able to do any of that, and so I would even suggest transitioning from a survival mode if you don't have the funds to go out and start doing small things for yourself. Other things I feel like you could do, because a lot of girls like to journal or scrapbook. And, a lot of times, especially at our age, you'll find a lot of women who are purging. Girl, when I tell you I purged everything out of this house, I did. I was like, I can't, too much stuff. I gotta go. And I gave all of my scrapbook stuff away. And I'm talking because I couldn't throw it away. I just could not do it. It was too many years of collecting money. But I gave it to someone that I still work with because she loved a scrapbook. And I'm like, great. These are not all these dope things I bought that I wanted to do something with that I'm never going to touch are going
Okay.
to get used.
Yep.
And I didn't ask for any money. It was like, dude, what am I asking for money for? It's literally you're doing me a favor by getting rid of it because I couldn't
Yep.
throw it away.
Hmm.
So, it could be something small like you said, getting yourself a bouquet of flowers,
Yep.
buying yourself, uh, you know, uh, if you
I'm
can't
gonna
afford
tell
to get
you.
your nails done, shit, I did press-ons for years when I didn't
Yeah.
come up with the money. There's
You know
so
what I had
many
to
different
do
ways.
just as a little token? Because again, like you said it so perfectly. It We don't have to start with these grand gestures here. Uh,
No.
but like I started, I would wear lipstick. I would wear lipstick with my jeggings, with the ashy jeggings and the hoodie. I would just wear or I would make sure I had on some earrings. Like
Okay.
just that one thing. Like you got to put one foot in front of the other, right? You got to
Yep.
crawl before you walk. You got to walk before you
Right.
run, right? And so I think one of the most relieving things for me was the fact that I didn't have to do it all at once and I didn't have to do it all overnight. I ended up talking to a lady who owns a boutique and can dress her tail off, by the way. And she said to me, she said, she said, you're not the only woman, by the way. So she says, but I'm going to give you a rule of thumb. The rule of thumb is when you're trying to replace your wardrobe from being casket sharp and being casket ready to something that's more livelier and vibrant. She said, you do it in a maximum of three pieces at a time. So don't go in your closet and
Okay.
just take all your stuff and put it in the trash. Just
Right,
take
right,
out,
right.
find one shirt and say, okay, I'm getting rid of this shirt, but before I I'm going to throw this one shirt away so that I can go buy another shirt, or I'm going to get rid of this one dress or this one thing so that I can buy another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
think for me, the blessing, Sheen, Sheen has been a blessing to me because when you don't have a lot,
I
what
think
do you
a
do
lot
when
of
you have a
women
lot?
feel that way.
You I
Yeah.
mean, but you can do something. A lot of my jewelry
Yeah.
came from Sheen, and that
Yeah.
stuff is $2 and $3 and $4 for a bracelet. Who cares where it came from? It looks feminine, so wear it. You know what I'm saying? Or
Right.
do what you can
Yes, I do.
do.
I'm not a big jewelry wearer, but I like to buy accessories for my purses. So
Yes.
if I'm
Okay.
gonna spend $100 on a purse, I'll go
Mhm.
on Sheen and I'll get all my cute accessories for $1
Yep.
a piece because I spent my
Yes.
money on my bag.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And
It's the
you got.
little, girl, you could give me $20 as an allowance to go in the dollar store or Five Below, no, because I'm only gonna get like two things, but
You
the
ain't getting
dollar
nothing.
store, you give me
No.
20 or $30 on Sheen and I'm a brand new woman, dude. Like for real. One pair of jeans for me. One pair of jeans for me. Now, mind you, I understand I'm a plus size woman, and I know that plus size women are bigger. But bro, it's $70 for a pair of jeans at Torrid. You cannot tell me that you used $70 worth of material.
for
I
one
ain't that damn fat.
for one piece. For one piece. For one piece. No, ma'am.
You mean
No,
to tell
ma'am.
me that I'm that big that it took you $30 to make a pair of drawers for me? No, 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 no. Girl, I went to Torrid the other day. Tell me why It was $70 for a bra.
Who made it? What was in his
What?
bra? What all could go in the bra other than titties?
Apparently, a little leprechaun just massages your boobs all day.
Because I would say I'm gonna need to be able to put some other stuff in there other than titties in this bra for $70.
Right. I want somebody like this for $70. Can you massage my back? Climb off the cup, get on my back. My neck needs massages. Let's go.
I'm
It's gonna
telling
be
you,
some
I'm
sexy ass
telling you,
pictures that are like,
I am
"Moo,"
telling you.
that much money.
What does this bra come with? Okay, $70, and I'm gonna tell you, I ain't about to put all my business out there, but let's just say I'm a little top heavy. Okay, baby, I could have got three. I could have got three for $70. Come on, what are we doing here? For one,
Right. And you can't buy. Who's going and getting a freaking Hanes bra? Well, I'm gonna keep it this real though. I'm 48. I'm about to be 49. We're tankini in it. I don't know if I said that right. I ain't got time for none of that. First of all, I am too old to be walking around with my girls up here, and guys are perverts.
you don't want them
So
under
if you
your
wear
neck,
them up here,
Shauna.
every dude you're talking to is like, hey,
You
hey.
don't
And it's
want
like,
them under
dude,
your neck, Shauna.
no, no,
What?
no. I don't want to nestle my neck down into my boob. It's not that serious to me. It's not that serious to me.
What? For $70, you better be able to do a whole lot.
Which is why I buy the tankinis for.
Girl,
I can go to Gabe's and find those from
I'm gonna
Torrid.
just be honest with you. If I ever buy a $70 bra, everybody gonna know about it because everybody gonna be able to see it. Because it's time to model.
I mean,
It's
I do have some.
it's
I do own a few because they have some really cute ones, and I'm like, hey.
it's time to
But
model so that I can get some of this money back. What did you say? It? Girl, bye. Wish I would.
um, so I posted the my remote is it's making this whole side of my face dark. So I posted on Facebook. I'll post it on YouTube as well, but it's the thing for the survival mode versus soft mode. If anybody isn't sure, if you're going through one of those things, you can always, take a look at it. Do you think that any of those things might apply to you? Maybe you don't know you're in survival mode, or maybe you've just entered soft mode and you don't know that you're not in survival mode anymore. So, you could always take a look at it, see if any of those things apply to you. If they do, we talked about it before, if you guys ever want to talk about anything on the show, you can email us and we can, talk about whatever topic you want. You can be anonymous if you want. We don't have to say anybody's name. But so if you're finding yourself coming in or out of one of these things and you're not sure and you want to talk about it, we can totally talk about it. And I will say, I don't know if I would be coming out of survival mode, Crystal, if we hadn't had as many conversations as me and you had when we were first talking about doing the podcast, because that was a whole therapy session.
But you know
One.
what? It was for me too because now I got letters behind my name, so that was working for me too.
Yeah, and girl, I have been studying for my CRA. There's these 4 laws that I have to know, and I'm trying to figure out a way to remember them analogically, because sometimes I have a hard time remembering stuff. But I cannot wait to take my test and get my certification. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And the thing that I'm excited about is that I'm not looking to replace my main income, right? I'm
You're
not
just
looking
stretching.
to.
You're just growing. You're just saying
Right, right.
more than
I'm
one
just
thing.
looking to, yeah, like get some experience, maybe have a little side hustle, do something on the side that I like to do on the weekends or something. But um, I'm totally looking forward to it. And I cannot wait to get my first little customer on my other thing that I got going on. Like that's gonna be fun. So I'm looking forward to that too. But um since we're already an hour in, if you're cool with it, we were gonna talk about a little bit about catfishing before the end of the show. And Crystal, I can't tell if you're frozen or if you're just making the same face. I think you're frozen.
Let's get into that.
We talked about
Can you
talking
hear me
about
better
some
now?
catfish. Okay, yeah, I can hear you. Oh, there you go. Um, so
Okay.
I had said if anybody wants to post a catfish story in the chat room, please don't use names or be disrespectful. But if you want to put something in there, you can. I'll read it over, or we can just comment on it. But Crystal, do you care? Do you mind if I tell my catfish story first? Do you care?
Go for it. I want to hear it.
Okay. So some of my friends know this story. Okay. So it's some people have already heard this, but tough poo because it's funny as hell. So before I met my just amazingly attractive and numbs boyfriend that I have right now, I was single for a little while.
Where'd he go?
And somebody, um, oh, he had to go to work. But he's watching though. And so, this dude messaged me on Facebook, not on Facebook dating because I wasn't on dating apps at that point, but just on Facebook Messenger. Crystal, your video is lagging and your face looks crazy. Um, it's like slow mo. It's funny, but so he messaged me,
I know.
and it was somebody that was kind of maybe in my area. And I usually don't do that because, you know what I'm saying, but I was like, whatever. So I'm like, okay, we can meet. And we went and we met down at the lake by where I live. So I'm like, hey, this is where I'm sitting. You can park, if you see my Mazda, you'll know that it's me. So dude is like, okay. And he's like, I was like, you can just park behind me if you want. And he said, okay. And I didn't think nothing of it. And then he pulls up. I'm sitting on a bench, right? Dude pulls up next to the bench on a bicycle. So at first, I'm like, you know what?
Pull it
Maybe
up.
because he was a very physically healthy gentleman. So I thought, you know what? Maybe he, just whatever. You know what I'm saying? No, I asked him. He said he didn't have a license because he didn't want the government to know his information, which means your shit is suspended and you're never going to be able to get it. And you don't want someone to know. So you're just going to pretend like, I don't want the government to know my information. Yet you have a job and you pay taxes, but whatever. But the thing that killed me was, and some people are probably going to be like, oh, you're being stuck up. I don't give a shit if you think I'm stuck up. At 48 years old, living in our area, right? We don't do trains and shit. If you are driving a bicycle around, the audacity of you. And if you're driving around on a bicycle with a lawnmower motor on it, you are the problem in Summit freaking County. It's starting to get nice out. So the Methadonians are coming out, and you hear the little lawnmower motors on the back of their bikes, and it's like, and it's like, oh my god, it's summertime. So, and then what killed me is the audacity of the bike. And dude had a speaker on the back of his bike, big ass speaker. Must have been, like a Bluetooth speaker.
Oh yeah, that's his
And it
only
had a
mode.
light on it. It had a light on it that went around the speaker, and he turned it up super loud. So as he's riding his little bike, I mean, at the end of the day, dude's living his best life. I hope nothing but blessings, but I'm cool. And then I'm like, well, what, because he kept talking about his job, and I'm like, well, what do you do for a living? He was like, I DoorDash. Huh.
Amber said,
I DoorDash.
Amber said they just be messing around. She said they just be messing around.
The struggle of the Macedonians is real. Is so real.
But how do you DoorDash on a bike?
So I asked him, I was like, how do you know what I'm saying? And he was like, I just, people give me higher tips because they feel bad for me that I'm on a bike. And I'm thinking, I'd be pissed. It's 2:00 in the
wailing
morning.
in the wind
I
while
just
you
drank
trying to bring it to me.
and I want my Taco Bell now. I don't want it 45 minutes from now.
But no,
You're on a bike.
we'll still get it to you on time, but it's gonna be all upside down, and the quesadilla gonna be pulled apart because it was just fanning in the wind from hanging off of his handlebars.
I gotta say again, Lord, most blessings. I wish him nothing but the best in life. I ain't better than nobody else. However, I feel like
she said they just
when you're getting to know someone,
I'm sorry.
I feel like there's certain things that should be said. Like, now this wasn't him, but when someone doesn't have a job, but they're on SSI, I want to know that ahead of time. Don't wait until we're cool and tell me you had a job and then be like, but I got food stamps. What?
I see. It's good.
Or
Please.
I made a picture. I'm actually going to put it on here because it made me laugh. But this for me
Amber?
is catfishing at its best. Because I feel I'm not dogging on guys, by the way, because chicks catfish ridiculously. I've been on female things before when I, you know what I'm saying? Females are awful. However, if I notice that dude's height is the new dude's man parts. So if a dude tells you he's like 6 foot, he's 5'9". If he tells you he's 5'9", he's like 5'7". So if I tell you that I'm 5'8", and you tell me that you're 5'9", and we meet, and I'm taller than you, which I don't care about that. I've dated guys that were my height. That's not the thing. You lied about something that you knew I was going to see. Or you get the older guys as we're getting older, right? We're starting to date older men because we're getting older. And then you see a picture from freaking 20 years ago. And the guy shows up and it's like, and so I noticed that they do the youngest picture first. And then the more you scroll down, you start to get the more recent ones. I don't know if women do that too. I know a lot of women use a lot of filters. The age thing I don't know about, but I've seen it a lot on guys. So I made a thing where it was like if I was going to go on a date or if I was going to meet someone, we had to video chat first. Because I got tired. Like the catfishing, the homeless people, the men that didn't have jobs, the guys that said, "Oh, I stay with my family member," and then you find out, no, they're just sleeping on couches. Like, okay, time for you to give us the catfish story.
If you let me sleep on your couch, we are family at that point. You hear me? If you let me sleep on your couch, we are family at that point.
I ain't letting nobody sleep on my couch. One of my sons and my dude who has his own shit.
So here's my catfish. Here's my catfishing story. I need you to to laugh because the way that I had to almost
That
heal,
sounds great already.
like I had to do some internal work. You understand? Because
Yeah.
I was angry. So long story short, I met this guy on the app, and he lived in Texas. We would we would video chat with each other. He was from Nigeria. He lived in Austin, Texas because he was in the States to work on his master's degree. So I said, okay.
Okay.
Long story short, he like come see me. So about bet. If I like you, I like you, I like you. If I like you, I want
You went to
you.
Texas? You went to
Yeah, so
Texas?
I jumped on the plane, two of them. Two of them.
Okay.
The
Hey,
story is
no
put your
judgment.
seatbelt on. Put your seatbelt on.
Oh,
Put
I gotta say what's up to Bree. Oh my God, so
Bree.
shiny.
So
Aw.
I said, I jump on the plane. I take two planes in Austin, Texas. I get on the plane. I'm on the phone with my friend, and I said, prior to I was ready to go. And the night before I get on the plane, I'm talking to my friend. I said, something is wrong. I said, I got a feeling that it ain't gonna be none of what I thought or none of what I was told. And so, she thought it was funny.
Okay.
And she says, well, you can always come, just come back home. I said, okay, but I just feel like it
Right.
ain't gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Now, I wasn't scared because I had some money in my pocket, and I was prepared. If I needed to pivot, I could pivot. But I just
Facts.
felt like,
That
you know what I'm
part.
saying?
I
Yeah.
hope
But
I hope everybody in the back
huh,
row just heard that. Don't travel nowhere to meet nobody without money in your pocket.
in your pocket. They need to be right in your pocket. So
That
I
part.
I I touched, and I down to where you get your bags. And I'm looking for him. And I'm like, he not here. He late. So I call him, and I hear all this wind in the background. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm on my way there. I'm on my way there. I'm like, okay. And Shauna, I step outside because I'm thinking maybe he gonna pull up, and I can already out there. I can just jump in the car outside waiting. When you get off the plane and you get your bag and you go out the door, right? And lined up for
Yeah, you
you to
can't
get,
just you don't want
and
to just stand there.
I
Traffic
don't
is
see
moving
him. So I was
and
like, I just
whatever.
sit right here and wait. Yes, traffic. They car, they take it off,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
still standing there because I'm waiting. I'm waiting for
Yeah.
him to pull up. Then I call him like, "Hey, where you
I
at?"
would
He
have had
said,
a panic.
I'm in here waiting on you." I said, "You in where waiting on me?" He's like, "I'm in the." No, you can't be because you don't have a ticket. You can't be inside the airport if you don't have a ticket, girl. Sure enough, I turned back around. That man was standing
You
inside,
can.
and
You
I
can
was
go to
like,
the pickup area without a ticket.
but remember, I already said something was wrong. So that was my spidey senses saying something
Right,
is
right, right,
wrong with this. You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, okay. I got you. I got you.
So
Yes, yes,
I
yes,
go
yes, yes. I
in,
feel it.
I see him, and I look at him, and I'm like, okay. Now I had a running joke with my friend that his breath was going to smell like hot garbage, and sure enough, he had on some Axe cologne, and his breath smelled like hot garbage. And I was like, okay, but he got on cologne, so maybe we just let me see how we gonna make this work. So I said, okay, well, come on, let's go. He said, well, wait, before we go, we gotta walk here. And I'm like,
Bitch, he failed the finger test
to.
breath.
He pointed Huh? What you say?
Excuse me.
Bree said, "Why did I click on y'all?" He's pointing over at the car rental place, right? So I'm looking at him like, "Why we gotta go to the car?" So we get over to the car rental place. Mind you, he's from Nigeria. He speaks English, but he's from Nigeria. We get over there, we walk up to the counter. He hands the
Dude, I
lady.
dated a Nigerian guy, so I already know what you're talking. I already know. I already know.
So he hands the lady at the counter a piece of notebook paper with a note. Something was written on it. And she looked at it and she said, basically, somebody wrote him a note, rent him a car. She said, I can't accept this. I can't accept this. She said, we
I'm
only
done.
rent cars to
I'm
people
done.
that have a, you got a flight, can I say itinerary? Well, who was the only
Okay.
person that had an
Hold on.
itinerary?
So I'm just hold on. I just want to make sure that I am understanding this correctly. When you say he had a note, are you talking about the kind of notes our moms used to give us to go get cigarettes back in the 80s to the 7-Eleven? Like a note like that, like, hey, rent a car to this person kind of note? Is that what you mean? Like that kind of note?
Yeah.
Was his face squishy?
It was
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Girl, because it was like they put their credit card number on it and everything. So now I'm pissed.
I want everybody to put their credit card number in the chat. Let's go. Let's go.
Right now,
Let's go.
we're on our way to the airport. Come on, guys, everybody, come on.
I need some clothes from Shein.
So
I'm gonna let them know that I'm not using the credit card. Let's go.
so Shauna, so they're like, we only rent. You have to have a flight itinerary. That's the only way we can rent a car to you. Well, who was the only person that had an itinerary? Me. So guess who now is renting a car? I am. I'm pissed because I didn't. You didn't tell me this up front. So I looked down and
You're
I said,
better
"So
than
where's
me
your
because
car?"
my ass would have turned right back around, shipped another plane, and went back to Ohio. We ain't
So I said, where is your car? Shauna, did you hang up on me? Y'all, if Shauna hung up on me, I'm a I'm a I'm a be I'm gonna be upset if Shauna hung up. Did you
sorry.
hang up? It's okay. Come in here and write your words. So I said, where's your car? He said, it's in the shop. Why is your car in the shop on the weekend that I come down here? We've been talking for at least a month. It should have been fixed and out the shop and highway ready. What? Okay, whatever. So, so we get the car. I get in the car and I said, I want my money. I want my money. Money because this was not in my budget. But again, remember I said I had some money just in case I had to pivot. I wasn't gonna be completely out. So we get back to his house. We pull up. It's a huge, 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 huge apartment complex, right? So we pull up and there's a gate. And what you do is you pull up to the gate. Well, if you're a resident, you enter in your code so that the gate can open and you go in and you park your car. Okay.
You did
We
some white people.
we pull up. we pull up.
Plot
We
of
pull up to the gate.
you went. Bitch.
Shut up. We pull up to the gate. I'm like, so I look at him like, okay, well, what's the code? I put it in. He didn't know the code.
He'd have been getting out my car, dude, right then and there. Like, you got get out, bro.
He
Get
didn't know the code.
out of my car.
So he had to call somebody. He had to call somebody to get the code. Okay, fine. Strike. I don't even know what strike we on right now, but like, cause your breath is horrendous. You don't have a car. And then we pull up. You told me your car was in the shop, and this now I know you lying, because if your car was in the shop, if you had a car, you still would have known the code to get in the gate. You don't even know the code to get in the gate. So now I think we got a fictitious card here. You
Oh my
don't even
God,
have a car.
no.
At least that dude had a bike, Shauna. Dude, you don't even, whatever. So
Yeah, that's why I said, like, I love you and we're, you know what I'm saying, but no, like, no, no. The moment I had to get a rental car, I'd have been like, well,
in my mind,
I got in my
tell you,
taxi or my Uber and went to the hotel and kicked it by myself.
well, here's how I justified the rental car. I justified the rental car by saying this puts me in control because now I have the transportation. That's how I justified the rental car, right?
Okay.
So bet. So we park. I'm thinking we about to go into his apartment. Lana, what you laughing?
No, I am reading Bree's comment. I wasn't allowed to say, look, I'm not allowed to say that because if I said it, it's wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Bree, you can excuse yourself at this point, okay? So yeah, Edward. So she goes say, so we go in, and I'm thinking, okay, we about to go into his apartment. We go in, it ain't an apartment, it's a dorm room.
I'm done.
It's a dorm room. I walk in, there's two hallways in this two hallways. We go in, I'm thinking, okay, we're about to go into his apartment. We go into his apartment.
When you walked in and you saw the narrow dorm hallway, your ass kept going. We got to have a conversation when the show's done.
But wait, we don't because remember, don't worry about it. Just write each word 3 times each. We don't because this was about 20 years ago, so it don't count.
Oh, I thought this was recent. Like, look, we got to talk because this is ridiculous.
This was like,
I'm not talking to my friend Crystal at this moment. She would not do that.
No, that's what I'm saying. 20 years ago.
Okay,
that was like, I think that's where my survival mode was birthed.
Bree might consider her final decision as to what she said. She might let you be shiny again because remember, I can't say what she said. I'll say shiny.
Whatever. So I walked past the little kitchen and the little community area, the little living room area, and we go into his room, and we go, and it's just a bed and a built-in desk that's built into the wall because again, it's a college campus dorm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
okay. But how old was he?
I don't remember. He was young enough to be in campus, to be in a dorm. You know what I'm saying?
I'm thinking I'm 48, so 20 years ago I would have been 28. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, why would he be in a dorm? Okay, yeah. Okay. 3. All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm like, okay, this ain't gonna work. And immediately I got so angry that immediately I got a migraine and I said, I need to lay down. And he said, okay, okay. And I dropped because now it's also, I'm in Austin, Texas, and it's like 275 degrees outside. So yeah, I'm like, I gotta shut down because I am like, I can't do this. So I went to sleep. So when I woke up, I said, okay, look, um, you gotta take me to get something to eat. I said, we gotta go get something to eat. Um, where's the local, where's the rib joints? Where's this? I don't eat that. I said, what are you talking about? Prior to me coming, we were talking about certain things, and I said, I know Texas has the most authentic Mexican spots. Also, y'all known for barbecue. I said, I want to go and experience that. And he was like, yeah, I could take you. I know exactly where that stuff at. We get there, dude was like, I don't, I don't know where any of that at. I said, what do you mean you don't know where any of it is? You live in the heart of it all. You live in Austin. I forgot the name.
Because he was eating Nigerian shit.
Huh?
He was eating Nigerian people food.
Right. So we're gonna get.
I dated a Nigerian guy, dude. He never ate anything other than Nigerian food, so I wasn't trying to be a smart butt.
We're.
But that's what he ate. Like, if we went out, he didn't like to go.
I'm gonna come to that. So I said, you know what? That's okay, because I got keys. I go get my own food. He said, okay, come on, I'm gonna go with you. I said, okay. And I find a Mexican spot. So I said, all right, come on, let's go in here. He said, I'm not going in there. I said, excuse me? He said, I'm not going in there. I'm like, why? We just need to go get some food. He would not, to your point, he would not go in the restaurant and eat anything. He ate his homemade stuff and had me drive him to the grocery store to buy specific things, and where they made their like fish and stew and tomato stuff and all this other stuff, that just looked like slop that you would feed a pig. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, this ain't what I wanted.
Like, this ain't it.
This ain't it. You get on a plane to go see your quote unquote boo thing and you eating by yourself, because he's like, I'm not eating that. What? Oh, okay. So I said, so after I finished eating, I said, all right, well, yeah, I'm going to go get a hotel. He said, what are you talking about? You gonna stay here with me? I said, no, I'm not staying here with you. I am going to go get a hotel. Something was going on at that time in Austin that all the hotels, like, you would have thought it was the birth of Jesus again, because all the hotels were, all the inns, no room in the inn. Okay. And I'm like, yo, I'm not staying here. I'm gonna have to find me a hotel. And I found one like 20 minutes out from where he lived. And he was like, well, I'm gonna have to come with you. No, you're not gonna have to come with me. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to come. I'm gonna, because
sleep in your dorm that you don't have the code for.
Huh?
I said, stay in your dorm that you don't have the code for.
So now he's so later on, as the night goes, like it's like 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, where are your friends? He was like, they're around. I said, where are your friends? Where are your friends? I don't see anybody. I said, right now it's just me and you. I don't see anybody. Where are your friends? So if I said, listen, if you don't find your friends, call your friends and find your friends, I'm leaving. Right? So he finally called his friends and he said, okay, here's the address. They live over here. We can go over there. We go pick up his friends, and it was a group of them, and they were some of the nicest, coolest people ever. And I said, okay, now we're going to go get some barbecue. We're going to get some ribs. I want some ribs. So one get in my car, and then like 3 of them got in his other friend's car, and we go. We get there. Remember, I told y'all that I tried to get this dude to eat some Mexican food. He would not eat it. To the barbecue joint, his friends say, try this. Oh, okay, I'll try it. We get up to where we need to to pay for our food. The guy that I came to see did not pay for my food. He paid for his friend's food.
Wow. Are you serious?
He he didn't pay for my food. He paid for his.
I'm assuming that you also paid for the rental car,
Yeah.
correct?
Well, I had to because he didn't have. Remember, the credit card was on a
Well,
piece of paper.
but what I'm saying is he didn't offer you any cash or any kind
He
of
wrote.
like, here, let me
When
give.
he said when you leave, I'll give you your money back for the car. He was that. And I don't know what your experience was with Nigerians. This was my first experience, and then I've heard things.
Mine wasn't bad. Mine was not bad at all.
Okay, and but I've heard that some of them, not all of them, have this view of not only women, but they have this view of American women that that let her pay for it. She got it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't experience. Yeah, I didn't experience that. But I dated a Nigerian guy when I was older. I
Okay.
was, when I was single those 7 years. So I was in my 40s.
Okay.
Yeah, I was older.
Okay. So now I'm like, first off, I don't. This is I've never experienced anything like that. First off, I came all the way from several states to spend time with you, but you feel the need to cater to your friend. I'm trying to
Right.
understand. You can
Right.
sit,
That's
you
weird.
can sit here and eat
That's
with
weird.
him, but the food was amazing, by the way. So we get up, we leave. Come to find out, his friend, who's from Nigeria as well, had never been to the movies. Never been to the movies. So I said, "Oh, we gotta go." She gonna say you could have been back home by this point. so
Right. Like,
so I said, "Okay, let's go to the movies." I forgot what movie was out, but I said, "Okay, let's go to the movies." And he ended up paying. The friend ended up buying paying for my movie ticket, but the guy that I was there ended up paying like for the friend's movie, something like that. So again, I'm like, this is weird.
that's
This
weird.
is just absolutely,
Was his friend his friend?
huh? I didn't get that vibe. I didn't get
Okay.
that vibe. I said this must be cultural or something because I'm confused. I don't know what's happening here. Then like he had me.
Yeah, I don't.
So then
Anytime I've gone on a date with a Nigerian guy, they've always paid. The only thing I noticed, like, they are very well. I shouldn't say they. The gentlemen that I went on dates with were very old fashioned.
oh yes.
Um,
I don't know what this.
as far as yeah, they're very. The men are very dominant, and the women are supposed to. And I don't think it's a disrespectful situation. You know what I mean? I watched my mom and dad. My dad was more dominant, and my mom was submissive. But if you're in a relationship and it's respectful, a man that is truly leading his partner would be able to do that in a loving and respecting way. And it would just be, I watched my parents do it for 46 years.
Well, and here's another point to
No.
that. No, anytime if you a man and you want a woman, why would you not want to do that? Why would you not
Yeah.
want to
Well,
take the lead?
I don't think that every man knows how to do that because maybe they didn't have a dad or
They
maybe
had
their
a
dad was
TV.
not a dominant gentleman. But I don't think that every man knows how to dominate a woman, not in a jerk kind of way. I also don't think that a lot of women understand how to submit. And I also don't think that a lot of women understand that you are the one that is choosing to submit. So by choosing to submit, you are actually the one that kind of holds the power in that situation because I don't have to choose to submit to anybody. I don't care how respectful you are.
Uh-huh.
But I don't mind that because, again, I was raised that way. I saw my parents do it in such a loving and beautiful way that I just feel like if you're in a relationship and however you work, but I definitely cannot be with someone that doesn't have a backbone. I can't do it. I have to be with someone who can overrun my personality and who can, you know what I'm saying? But that's just me personally. That's just what I like. Everybody's different.
And not, it's funny because I've always been attracted to introverted guys just because I have such a big personality. The introverted men always attracted me for some reason.
Yeah,
So
see, I'm the opposite.
and this
I'm
dude
an
was
introvert.
very
I can't.
introverted, but I don't think he was cultured, if that makes sense. Meaning it was like he was from Nigeria and he on purpose refused to culture himself, if that's a word, to integrate himself in where he was at, right? So we went.
Well, you got to look at where he was at too, though, because a lot of Nigerians face a lot of issues when they come to this country. They're not accepted by a lot of different cultures, so they're not comfortable going out and mixing in society. And when they do, they usually find other people that might not be Nigerian but are not American, usually play soccer, because that's where they feel like they're not going to be judged and where they're going to get their camaraderie from is usually what I have
I
seen.
don't even think he was. I don't even think he was mature enough to even put it
Yeah,
together
because
like
he was
that.
young.
You
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying? I
yeah,
think
yes,
he
yes,
was raised a certain way in Nigeria and just brought it to Texas, and that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Because he
yeah.
had more
Mhm.
affection for his friends than for the female that he said he was interested in. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Or maybe he just didn't know, regardless of his nationality, maybe that's just how he was. You know what I'm
I don't.
saying? Who he was as a human
But
being.
I will say he was very rigid. I will say that he was very rigid, which was the complete opposite of what I experienced when we were talking, on app and stuff, and when were we FaceTiming? Whatever we were that we were Skype. It was Skype. Skype was a
So we
thing
can
back then.
have FaceTime.
That's how long ago it was. We were Skyping each other. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
like
saying?
we have FaceTime back then.
Huh?
So did you end up staying the whole time that you were supposed to stay?
I did, but I stayed in that hotel, and again, and I was able to
Okay.
do the things that I wanted to do. I ended up. I just said, "Listen, It's a wrap already. There's some things that I like to do. I like to eat. I like to see, and I'm going to go do it. If you want to ride, you can. But other than that, I'm not. It's dude. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like one day I was like, okay, I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to eat. I want to go to eat, and he was like, well, you have to take me home, take me back to my house, so because I have to eat a certain meal, a certain thing. So I'm thinking maybe he needed some medication or something, or maybe he was, I don't know, sick and there was certain thing that he had to eat or take. Girl, I get back to take him back to his house, oh no, his dorm, and this dude made some damn hot chocolate with some scrambled eggs and toast. I said, so you couldn't eat that at Denny's? Are you
maybe he didn't
serious?
have the money. Maybe he didn't have any money.
And so and that, looking hindsight is 2020. Maybe that really was the case because
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
I think that's why the friend was paying for stuff, or he was, and then a couple times he had to
yeah.
go to the grocery store and get um he I guess somebody was sending him money or something. But I asked him, I said, so why didn't you tell me any of this? I said, why didn't you tell me you lived in a dorm? Why didn't you tell me you don't have a car? I said, because the whole time I was here, not one mechanic called your phone to tell you that your car was ready. Not one. So I said, well, why didn't you tell me that all of this, that you didn't have it? And he said to me specifically, he said, because it wasn't information that you needed to know. I said, and with that being said, it's time for me to go so that I don't miss my flight. But you need to give me my money
Facts.
for this car.
Facts.
And he said, well, let me see the receipt because he was not going to give me a dime over the exact amount that I paid for the car. And he wrote me a check at that. He wrote me a check. And I was like, Lord, I hope this check will clear. And it cleared. Believe it or not, the check cleared. And I
I
said, I
check.
will never do that again. So catfish, literally, I thinking I'm about to go to somebody's, didn't he? Girl, he didn't even have his own. I was like, you have nothing. You have nothing. You have nothing and you don't even care.
That's crazy.
You have nothing and you don't even care.
I mean, at
Um,
least he was younger, though. You know what I'm saying? At least he was a younger guy versus now in our 40s getting catfished is insanity. It's insane to me that grown ups catfish one another. Like I
let me
have
say
this
that.
conversation.
Right.
I know that we've been on here for a second, but I had a conversation with one of my friends. Okay, so yes, I'm a plus size woman. Okay, I don't believe
No.
in going on dating profiles and only showing my face. I believe if I'm going to go on a dating app, I show my entire figure. Not only do I do that, but I'll take a picture with someone else or something near me and I'll show that on there as well because I have found that pictures are deceiving of size. If you're standing there by yourself and you look one way, it may not everybody wants to do that. I'm not saying everybody has to, but me personally, I never wanted to be that female that showed up on a date and got that look of I didn't know that you were big. You know what I'm saying? And I am too old to teach anybody big bitch etiquette. I'm not doing it. If you're if
Right.
you don't have big bitch etiquette, I can't help you. Thank you for showing interest. No bueno. And so I like to market myself as a plus size woman because that I want a man who is attracted to a plus size woman. I have friends that are bigger that won't do that. And their mind frame is if
But why
you
not? You
well
can't
because
hide it.
some people's mind frame, and again, I'm not saying this is wrong. This everyone has the right to whatever is whatever. But some people have the mind frame of I'm gonna just show you my face. I'm gonna angle it to where I look like this. You know what I'm saying? Or use a filter that doesn't show whatever. And then if you like me, then it won't matter what size I am. But I don't agree with that because everybody is allowed to have preference. If I'm a girl or a human being and I'm going to the gym and I'm working out all the time and I'm eating healthy and I'm living a healthy lifestyle, I want to be with another person who's also living a healthy lifestyle. So it's not even always about size. It's about are you trying to live a healthy lifestyle or are you just if I'm out here being a vegetarian living healthy and you're not, we're probably not going to mesh well. So
Right.
I try to tell my friend a couple of my friends like, look, there are men out there who love big women if you show them who you are, there is going to be a fine ass dude out there. I'm so sick and tired of bigger women feeling like they got to accept less than what they are, what they're worth because they're bigger. Damn that. My man is fine as hell and I'm big as shit. You don't have to settle. You can find the person that you're attracted to, just be honest. And then
Yeah.
your person is going to find you, whether you're out in public, on a dating app, whatever, because you're being honest. You're showing the confidence, you're being in your soft mode. You're showing your confidence. You're showing the little things about yourself, like we talked about earlier, that makes you feel soft, makes you feel feminine. And those are the things that other people that you want to be with, men, women, whatever. That's the things that people pick up on uh, more than anything else. And so I'm a strong believer of avoiding catfishing at all costs. By any time I've ever been on a dating app, I am so transparent. Like, this is what I look like. This is what I do. This is what I'm looking for. If you aren't one, two, three, four, I can't mess with you at this age. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have
I
time.
think
Too old.
so. I do agree with you that just be honest. It is somebody for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. There are some beautiful, fine men that love big women. They don't want a small woman. They want her big. They want her tall. They want her. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay. You know, I think
Mhm.
I don't. I've never understood why play that game as if he's not
Yeah.
gonna ever see you. As if you know what I'm saying. You are like he's not gonna ever see you. Like
Right. Right.
you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Mhm.
You think
Absolutely.
you know. But again, when you are back full circle, when you are in your soft feminine era and not in survival mode, you are okay with showing all of you, and you're
Yes.
okay
Yes.
with waiting for that person to come to you, and they'll do all
Absolutely.
of you
And
versus trying to force
look,
it. When
it's
you're in
so
survival, you force so much. You
yeah.
force stuff to fit, which
Yes.
causes the majority of your frustration because you're
And
trying to
you have
force
to make sure too. You got to make sure too that the person you're picking is not in survival mode. That they have what they need. They have their own place or they're rooming with someone, whatever. But they
yeah, to
have their
know that they genuinely are interested in you for you and not
right,
a place to live.
right, right.
So yeah,
All right, homie. So this program that we're using, it only allows us to go so far before it starts recording and starts blurring us out. I can already tell that we're lagging a little bit
okay.
because it's the free version. Um, but this was an awesome show. It was our third one. So the chat was so awesome and Facebook
Thank
Live.
you
Thank you
guys for
so much, Amber, for
participating.
chat. Bree, I'm so excited to see you, dude. I miss you so much. Like, oh my goodness. I think about you guys every time I see one of your pictures. I think about you. Like, I love you so much. But I think that's awesome that you guys came in and talked with us. That was so cool. We really appreciate it. And
Really,
again, if you guys have any ideas, you could message me, you can message Crystal, you can email us. If you guys liked the show or if you end up watching it later, if you don't mind, the link on the website on my Facebook page will take you straight to the YouTube account. If you could go and subscribe, you don't have to watch it on YouTube. You can keep watching it on Facebook. But if you don't mind liking and subscribing, we would really appreciate it. We're not, me and Crystal are not doing this to generate revenue or whatever. But any of it that we can get at some point will be cool because then I can get nicer programs and do stuff that's nicer for the show. But yeah, this is so cool, and I appreciate everybody that came this week.
so we having fun, but we talking about real life stuff and really hoping that it'll help people, especially women, because we just in talking and having personal conversation for months straight, we found out like, no, this is a real issue. We're not the only ones struggling with this. I wonder how many other women
Sure.
are struggling with this. And then having to talk each
Yep.
other through some stuff, it's like, oh, yo, we not the only ones. I'm sure it's some other women that's dealing with this. Let's
Absolutely.
see what they got to say, or let's put it out there to see, you know, what can we
Creating a
help
safe
them with?
space for us all to talk about stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So,
And the
um,
things that we talk about are things that, me and Crystal are that we're actually going through or that we've gone through. And that's why we thought it would be cool to talk to people about it because not everybody has someone to talk to, you know, or
Bree
not
gonna like,
everybody's comfortable, you
no,
know,
not at all. Bree gonna say she can write us the IOU on a piece of paper.
girl.
I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna send my daughter to school with a note and see what happens.
Right. I'm
Or
gonna send my son in the bank. Well, no, let me take that back. Let me reverse that. Before I said it. That's not what I meant.
matter
Future
of fact,
people, that's not what I meant.
hey, run down here. I'm gonna run her to this gas station and have her. I'm gonna be at
Oh
the
my
pump.
god.
Tell them pump for her, okay? With a note.
That's
Oh God.
All right, guys.
Well,
I will after me and Crystal decide what the next topic is going to be. We've been kind of sticking with the same theme, so if you haven't watched the other two shows, again, we're following the same theme of changing with the change, moving as we get older, working on survival mode versus soft mode. We didn't talk about work stuff this week, but we also talk about work stuff and how the stuff we talk about affects us at work and stuff like that. So yeah, that's thank you, Amber. I want some gummy bears. Here's an IOU, want some paper. Um, but all right, guys. I hope everyone has a blessed week. It's only Tuesday, but we're at the end. Whoop whoop. So hope everyone has a blessed week.
y'all.
And again, thank you guys so much for joining the show.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Stay blessed.